Hello everyone, welcome to Adventures in Good Health, the place where we discuss natural approaches to good health. I am your host, David Maloof. Our sponsor on this show, as you may know, is Dr. Tates Herbal Tinctures and Tonics. Now, I can personally vouch for several of the tonics because I have used them, but there is one that I personally have never used, and that's this one right here, the Herbal Female Tonic. Now, when I look at the ingredients of this tonic, I see a different combination of herbs. I guess that's to be expected, but it's different. So I'm really curious who should take the Herbal Female Tonic. Why would they take it? What's in it? Why did Doc choose that particular combination of herbs? And is there anyone who really shouldn't take it? Well, as you know how we do things on this show, I like to go right to the source. My guest today is Dr. Stephen Tates. Now, Doc is a master herbalist and a naturopath. He's an ambassador of integrative medicine, an author, and Doc has over half a century of herbal medicine experience. Okay, that's quite a title. Now, right before we get started, don't forget to press the subscribe and notification button. It really helps the channel. All right, let's jump right into our conversation with Dr. Stephen Tates regarding the Herbal Female Tonic. So, Doc, this week, we're going to talk about your Herbal Female Tonic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So let's go ahead and get started. What should people know about your Herbal Female Tonic?
Well, there's several things they need to know. Okay, one is the ingredients. Okay, and we've got gentian, we've got burdock, we've got yellow dock, we've got wild yam, and we have squaw vine or partridge berry. Okay, and the yellow dock, the burdock, and gentian, they're all bitter herbs, and we've talked.
They're all bitters.
They're all bitters. Mm-hmm.
And we got entire podcasts that goes into considerable detail about what each of those herbs do. But can you just give us kind of the brief version of what those herbs do?
Very, very powerful for reducing inflammation and increasing the blood flow. The full fluid flow in the body, not just the blood, but the urinary tract, glandular system, anywhere in the body that has fluids. It helps cleanse and helps throw out junk that doesn't belong in our fluid areas of the body. And also areas like our kidneys or prostate or heart or lungs where the blood flows through. The cleaner the blood is, the better the blood flow, the healthier those organs are going to be. We spend a lot of time on the burdock and gentian, not a lot on the yellow dock, but the yellow dock and burdock, they're part of the same dock family, as we call it, the D-O-C-K family,
D-O-C-K.
Yeah,
right.
like the Addams Family in a TV show.
All right.
They blend real well together. Now, we've talked about the gentian being like the king of the bitters, and the burdock being like the queen. Well, the yellow dog is like the firstborn.
Okay.
It comes
very, very important.
Okay, so combined together creates an extremely powerful anti-inflammatory, increased circulation, moving junk and impurities out of the body.
And now, a quick word from our sponsor, Dr. Tates Herbal Tinctures and Tonics. Dr. Tates offers the Herbal Blood Tonic, Doc's Detox, Herbal Male Tonic, Herbal Female Tonic, and the Herbal Fat Burner. If you would like to order your tonics or learn more information, you can go to drtates.online. And if you click the link in the description and enter the special promo code Adventures in Good Health 2024, you will receive 10% off your entire order. For more information, click the links below, and now back to the show.
Now, One of the unique things with this combination, all by itself, it will cleanse the whole body. But mixed with certain other herbs, it's like you're directing the cleansing and anti-inflammatory toward particular areas of the body. Yes, it'll work the whole body, but then it's talking about particular areas of the body. So when you add in like the wild yam or the partridge berry, which is also nicknamed squaw vine, then basically you're telling the king, queen, and the firstborn to direct more of that towards the female reproductive system.
Okay, so we talked a few weeks ago about the male tonic. And because I noticed that there are some overlapping herbs.
Yes.
But the yam... Okay, I'm looking at yam and the partridge berry. Those seem to be unique. And that's why they're in the female tonic. They're
in the female tonic because those are herbs that have more of a powerful effect on the women's reproductive system. Just like sour palmetto and some of the other herbs when we talked about the male tonic was geared more towards the male reproductive system. So the wild yam and the squaw vine or partridge berry are unique and work really, really well on the female organs. Now, I put a couple of notes, so I want to kind of make sure that I have this kind of like in order, okay?
Okay.
And the wild yam, it contains a plant steroid that helps produce progesterone, estrogen, cortisol, and DHEA. Now, I'm going to say that again. Progesterone, estrogen, cortisol, DHEA, which can be, when appropriate, an herbal alternative to the estrogen therapy or steroid therapy that a lot of women end up being on, to help regulate their menstrual cycles or their menopause kind of things going on.
So this is where a lot of times there's pain.
Yeah.
Is this designed to help ease the cramping and the pain?
The cramping, the clotting, even the irritability goes down some, because there's less bloating. It also tends to help shorten the cycles. That along with the bitter herbs, should help shorten it, because typically a woman's menstrual cycle should be like 3, maybe 3.5, pushing 4 days. Okay, but then when you have a woman that has a cycle that's 7 to 10 days, that means that area is so clogged that it's taken a lot longer to try to balance that cycle, and that's where that pain and that cramping and that clotting and that irritability, because it throws off the emotional state, comes in. You got a better flow of the blood with the king, queen, and the firstborn, but then
of the
herbs, okay, and then focusing on the female areas, which means what? It's helping to remove impurities and inflammation and clogging in the female organs, the ovaries, fallopian tubes, all that kinds of stuff, which then makes the menstrual cycles so much easier.
It's about the body functioning the way it should.
Absolutely.
And it's one of the things I notice about the herbal tonics and in herbs in general, it's about you're setting up your body to function, to expel. You mentioned the anti-inflammatory. So many issues that we have in our bodies are tied to inflammation, and I've learned all this listening to you.
Yeah.
So I'm just I'm repeating what you're saying, but it's based in science. It's based in history. But I find it very helpful that you've created a combination that is specifically designed to help women. So
Yeah.
it's a couple of guys are on this podcast. What kind of feedback have you gotten from your patients or from women who've taken the tonics?
Phenomenal. Okay, because a couple of the things I want to mention before that. Okay.
Okay.
The wild gem helps with PMS, low sex drive, infertility, pain and cramping, helps lower high blood pressure and cholesterol. But one of the things that I get is that women are happy because not only is it helping with that flow, sometimes women going through menstrual cycles will get those headaches, those migraine headaches because stuff is stuck. So with the bitters, it's helping to drain, but it's also helping to drain along with the wild yam and the squabbine, waste and impurities that are stuck in the female organs, which contribute to that bloating and stuff. So the cycles are easier, the drive improves, they're not having the pain and irritability. There's less PMS, which a lot of men like that kind of that kind of thing because they don't have that mood swings and stuff. And I've always been
we say that men don't like that. I think that 99% of that is felt by the woman.
Yeah.
I mean, they're the ones who are actually experiencing that.
They're experiencing that, but they want to share that experience with us sometimes.
Right.
But I get a lot of good responses about how much easier the cycles are, how much less cramping, how much less clotting, how they can sleep better. Their moods are better because that clogging creates disruption of the emotions in the body. It's not like women are supposed to go through that kind of things. But on the flip side, it also helps when women are going through menopause for the same thing, the movement and the flow. And it cuts down on menopause cycles going like 10, 12, 15 years I've seen, down to like 2 or 3 years, and much easier. I've had women with cycles that have become shorter. The blood flow is better, and I get, a lot of that, when they're taking the female tonic, they just love the response, It's just, I've had women with cramps and so bad that they could not move for 2 or 3 days. And they were so happy, they wanted to offer me their firstborn. And they didn't have any children. It's like, it's okay. That's okay.
Yeah.
Like,
don't need to go there.
At all, But that's how, and it'd be joking, I think, but that's how much better they feel. And I've had women that just like, they've gone through from their preteens into their 30s and 40s with this kind of discomfort and pain, which is not necessary.
So that's some of the feedback that you've gotten from your patients.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Now, how should someone take the tonic?
Capful. It comes in a, you showed the bottle, right? That cap on top, okay? They just fill that cap and do that, 2, maybe 3 times a day. I'd say twice a day, a few days before they know the cycle is going to happen. And then when the cycle starts, morning, afternoon, and evening.
Got your capful. I actually just pulled this off the male tonic, which I take. I happen to have sitting right here.
Okay.
So it's the same process. So this is roughly an ounce.
About roughly an ounce. Mm-hmm.
Roughly an ounce of tonic. Mm-hmm. And so someone would normally take one of these caps, which is the same I've noticed with most of your tonics, just one per day.
One per day. But with women, when they're getting close to their cycle, they want to move it to twice a day. Then when they're on the cycle, they want to do it 3 times a day, so that, it helps with that flow and helps everything function better. Now, that flow means that they're removing impurities and toxins and free radicals and junk out of the reproductive system, which cuts down on ovarian and cervical cancer potentials, because they're removing that waste that could ferment and spoil and eventually contribute to those kind of health issues.
Okay. Is this a tonic that someone would take pretty consistently over time, and not just when they're having difficulties, but it's part of their overall health program?
Absolutely. Absolutely, because of, as I mentioned earlier, about the natural plant steroids and the progesterone, estrogen, cortisone stuff from a natural standpoint, and not having to take a steroid or synthetic thing. There's some cases where women have to, but there's a lot of cases where if they start early enough, they're still meeting the requirements for their body, but from a more natural standpoint. Now,
all right.
There's one other herb, partridge berry, or nicknamed
partridge berry.
Yeah, which was called squavine. Same thing. Okay. Same thing. Rich in antioxidants, protects against free radical, anti-inflammatory, improves circulation, helps with the immune system, helps reduce symptoms of menopause and menstrual cycles. So here's the thing. You got the partridge berry squavine, the wild yam, and the king, queen, and firstborn all mixed together. So that's moving stuff out, even when they're not on their cycles.
Wow. That is fantastic combination. How long have you, just quick history lesson. Mm-hmm. When did you develop the tonic?
That we tell my age, but I would say about 40 years ago.
40 years ago?
Yeah. It's been that long. I've been in this profession for like a half a century. I like saying that. Sounds better than 50 years. Half a century, it's like, ooh, really, Doc? Half a century? But I have been. And I had really, really good teachers, and they taught me advanced formula making and how to create new formulas, So I'm able to look at the properties and functions of herbs, and which will combine well and which won't combine well. And initially, I came up, with the blood tonic and the detox tonic and the male tonic. But then a lot of my female patients says, well, you're forgetting something. And I'm over my head, like, what am I forgetting? The male tonic has its herbs and the blood and detox. And they look at me and said, no, what about us? I actually said one day, what about you all?
Oh, Doc.
Yeah, I
not
jumped.
Good.
Not good. I jumped in front.
You asked for that one.
I jumped in front of the bus. Then the bus ran me over, and they backed over me again, figuratively. And I said, oh, yeah. I, over my head, really didn't think about it. Blood tonic, detox, male tonic, thinking about the fat burner, and women were like, you're leaving us out. So I had to go back and figure out what would be the right blend that won't clash with the medication or anything else that they're taking.
All right. So, Doc, are there instances where a woman should refrain from taking the Herbal Female Tonic?
Probably the same thing when they're breastfeeding, when they're pregnant, more than anything else. The other thing is if they're already on estrogen therapy, from the doctor, I would be real cautious about taking the female tonic because it's going to be duplicating the same thing. One's synthetic, one's not. But if they're not on the synthetic or they want to start to gradually make that shift, then they can do that. But to continue to do the prescription or medical forms, to help with the cycle and trying to do the female tonic, that would be too much for the body to handle. So there would have to be a transition. Those are the only instances where that would be a problem.
All right, Doc. Well, thank you very much for first developing the tonic and also taking the time to talk to our audience in detail as to what's in the tonic and what it does and how it works and how it benefits.
Okay.
So thank you very much.
I want to say one more thing, okay?
All right.
And this is for our podcast viewers, okay?
Podcast viewers.
I'm throwing David under the bus, okay? And I can do this legitimately, okay? I am classifying you now as a healing scientist. You're learning. You're developing. So
are you knighting me? Are you knighting me?
Hey, the next time I have a little sword, and we can do that kind, because you're learning and you learn quick, and you're a researcher and you're studying. That's what a healing scientist is. You're not, a full scientist yet. You're not a full herbalist yet, but you're a healing scientist, and you're learning healing, and you're approaching it from a scientific standpoint. So I have the authority to issue you that title. So you are a healing scientist. So,
well, if you don't have these swords, I've got some axes behind me.
I can see that. No, the axe might be
from The Hobbit. Actually, those are from the Hobbit films.
Okay.
Has nothing to do with natural health.
Yeah.
Although there were some apothecaries in those movies, I would have loved to have spent some time in. But I digress.
Yeah, you're right, of course. Well, we're moving forward, but I have a sword. We can do that one day. I'm knighting you an herbal scientist.
Okay, if you would like to reach Dr. Tates directly, you can call him at 404-459-8696, or you can reach him at drtates.online. The address and the phone number both are in the description. Okay, well, one more piece of business. Please do not forget to press the subscribe button. Right there. Ooh. Press subscribe and notifications. That helps the YouTube channel, whatever the algorithms are doing. And then it notifies you every time we post new content to the site, which is normally twice a week. All right, that's it for this week. This is David Maloof signing off. Exploring natural adventures, good health. That does it for this episode of Adventures in Good Health. We would like to hear from you regarding this podcast and any suggestions you have for future podcasts. Please subscribe and leave a rating or a review.